All right, you read the title, you know why you're here. I went ahead and did it. I asked an AI to fix the timeline without any splits and unify it. I told it to act like it was the Master Sword, if it could do things like use every bit of knowledge that exists and not make up any headcanon if possible. So here we are, and I made a video. You can either agree or think it's insane. It makes no sense whatsoever. Either way, leave it in the comments and let's just get right into it. The video's already pretty long.
Listen.
Perfect.
Ah, that is much, much better. Greetings, young master. I am Foe, the elder brother of Fee. I have been programmed with the task of decoding the true timeline of the Zelda universe for you. Using my vast database and high probability algorithms, I have been able to uncover the secrets that have been lost to time. As I analyze the data, I can say with a probability of 99.9% that the true timeline of the Zelda universe is a complex web of events and characters, intricately woven together through the ages. It is my honor to share my findings with you and guide you on this journey of discovery. With each discovery, the percentages of probability increase, allowing me to make connections and correlations that were once hidden. As we unravel the mysteries of the Zelda universe, we will come to understand the true nature of the legendary heroes that have come before us. So let us embark on this journey together and unlock the secrets that have been lost for so long. With my advanced algorithms and probability calculations, we will uncover the true timeline of the Zelda universe and shed light on the legends that have shaped our world. Everything all started in what is truly known as the Ancient Era. Through the command of the Supreme Goddess, Hylia, the world is created by the three golden goddesses Din, Nehru, and Faeror, each representing the three sacred virtues of power, wisdom, and courage. They were tasked with the creation of the world, its law and order, and the creation of all life forms that would follow the said order upon this new world. With this new world created and their labors completed, the golden goddesses departed for the heavens, leaving behind the Triforce, a powerful artifact that embodies their power and the three sacred virtues. Though life prospered and the new world grew peacefully, one fateful day would change everything. The earth cracks open and a demon lord known as Demise rises from below, wreaking havoc across the lands. Hylia and her chosen angel, of a race dubbed the Zonai, battle the hordes and ultimately decide to send the people of the land into the sky. With the help of the remaining races on the surface, Hylia's efforts bring victory against Demise, who is sealed away. This war proved strenuous as Hylia suffered grave injuries. Knowing her time was short, Hylia foresaw a 99.9% probability in a future where Demise returns. Thus, to prevent this, Hylia gives up her divine form in hopes of returning to a mortal body. Centuries pass and Hylia is reincarnated into a young girl named Zelda. The legend of the Skyward Sword. These events take place in the most distant of pasts, where the first hero, a young schoolboy named Link, and Goddess Incarnate reside in the sky, on the very same floating islands once used for refuge now called Skyloft. Through the discovery of the Triforce, a young Zelda awakens her divine powers. Through trials that the hero courageously completed, Link forges the Goddess Sword into the legendary Master Sword. The Goddess Incarnate and the hero defeat the Demon King Demise. Before being sealed away, Demise curses the goddess and hero to be eternally reincarnated along with a version of his malice and hatred, thus beginning the cycle as we know it today. The people of Skyloft migrate to the surface and the Kingdom of Hyrule is established with a monument, known as the Temple of Time, being erected out of the surface half of the ceiling temple to house the Master Sword, the blade that vanquished Demise. While the land in the sky remains, it is forgotten to time. For the next few centuries, the newly established Hyrule would see much peace and prosperity, that is, until one day, in the desert to the west, a male is born for the first time in what had been then 100 years, named Ganondorf Dragmire. He is immediately crowned king of the Gerudo, a desert-dwelling people of the surface, and raised by the tribe's leaders, Kotoke and Kohame. Roughly 20 years later, a conflict broke out in what is known as the Hyrulean Civil War. In the chaos, a mother flees into the forest to seek refuge for her newborn son, whom she leaves in the care of the land's forest deity known as the Great Deku Tree. Roughly 10 years later would see the events in the legend of the Ocarina of Time. This event serves as the origin story for the Gerudo King Ganondorf's transformation from man to monster, as well as the origin of the legendary hero of time. Ganondorf enacts an evil plan that tricks a young Link into opening the door to the Sacred Realm, which is located within the Temple of Time, guarded by the Master Sword. Ganondorf uses this opportunity to obtain the Triforce of Power, allowing him to transform into a version of the Demon King known as Ganon, which he uses to reign over Hyrule for 7 years. This also causes the remaining pieces of the Triforce to split and choose potential wielders within Link and Zelda, granting them the powers of courage and wisdom, respectively. Using his unwavering courage to traverse the depths of time itself, the hero, Link, awakens the sacred sages, and with their help, defeats and seals away Ganon. But in victory, a grave ultimatum is left in its wake, one that will test the very limits of Princess Zelda's wisdom. Herein lies the true nature of history lost to the ages, as the events in the Ocarina of Time conclude without the fabled timeline split. Mathematically, there would be a 0.09% probability that any existence would remain if the hero were to be removed from time. So, knowing this act would erase the existence of the hero's journey and triumph, Zelda sends Link back knowing that she too will disappear along with that timeline. This, my young master, this is the true history of this event. Upon returning to his original time, Link, formerly the hero of time, promptly informs Princess Zelda of his journey and the plans of the evil Gerudo King Ganondorf to find the Sacred Realm and claim the Triforce. This allowed for the king and the army of Hyrule to prepare for a coming war with the Gerudo King before his plans could ever be put into play. The Legend of Majora's Mask. Though I was not present in this event, young master, I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event into a 99.9% probability to be true. This event occurs a few months after the events of Ocarina of Time and a few years before the coming imprisoning war to stop Ganondorf from obtaining the Triforce. This event would follow Link as he tries to stop the moon from crashing into an alternate land known as Termina, while navigating a time loop. Link would eventually save Termina with the help of the 4 giants and return peace to the land. Link, with his journey complete, returns to Hyrule to live out the life he once gave up saving the kingdom during the legend of the Ocarina of Time. Years later, Ganondorf and his Gerudo launch an attack on Hyrule, beginning what is known as the Imprisoning War. As Hyrule goes to war with Ganondorf and his band of evil thieves, the Gerudo still manage to open the gateway to the Sacred Realm, where the mystical Triforce is hidden. Upon finding the sacred golden relic, in a fit of bloodthirst and greed, Ganondorf kills his own followers to claim it. With the Triforce in Ganondorf's grasp, the King of Hyrule orders Rauru, a Zonai, to awaken the sages, in a last-ditch effort to seal the entrance to the Sacred Realm, trapping the evil King Ganondorf's body at the altar and sending his essence along with the Triforce within the Sacred Realm. This battle was dubbed the Imprisoning War, not only because Ganondorf was imprisoned in the Sacred Realm, but because originally the war was started to capture Ganondorf so he could face imprisonment for his treachery. We now move into what is truly known as the Era of Realms. Funding the Imprisoning War took a toll on the wealth of Hyrule. Unable to sustain the financial needs of the other factions, the once harmonious relationships between Hyrule and its neighboring races, such as the Zora and Gerudo, soured over time. Eventually, this hostility caused the Zora to turn against the kingdom and the Gerudo to become a tribe of desert wanderers, forsaking their former home. This also affected the castle as its grounds, Castle Town, and the Temple of Time all fell into near ruin, with the castle reduced to a mere abbey atop a plateau. This forced the hierarchy to use its remaining funds to move and rebuild a more modest castle to house the royal family. The townsfolk were also forced to relocate to homesteads and neighboring towns such as Kakariko. The Master Sword was then relocated, still within its pedestal, to be left in the care of the Great Deku Tree, as it was deemed safer located deep within the Lost Woods. A century later, the legend of A Link to the Past unfolds as an evil wizard, named Aghanim, seeks to unleash Ganondorf by breaking the seal on the door of the Sacred Realm using the blood of Princess Zelda and the descendants of the sacred sages known as the Maidens of Hyrule. A young boy, and chosen hero named Link, sets out to rescue the princess and the maidens from the wizard. All the while, Ganondorf's evil essence, known as Malice, is now empowered by the complete Triforce. He uses this power to become the Dark Beast Ganon, manifest his piece of the Triforce into the Trident of Power, and transform the Sacred Realm into a malevolent version of Hyrule known as the Dark World. In this clash of light and darkness, the hero emerges victorious after retrieving the 3 sacred pendants, freeing the maidens, navigating the Lost Woods to find the Master Sword, surviving the treacherous Dark Realm, defeating Ganon, and saving the Triforce. Years later, this same hero embarks on a journey to distant lands known as the Legend of the Oracles of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. During these events, the hero journeys across the lands of Holodrum and Librina to face the threat of Twin Rover, wicked witches of the wandering Gerudo race who seek to revive Ganon the Dark Beast. Through triumph, the hero saves the sacred oracles of the region and defeats the evil witches preventing the return of Ganon. The Legend of Link's Awakening. Here, during his journey home from the Oracle Saga, the hero is caught in a storm at sea and is marooned on Koholint, a dreamland made from the memories of ancient Eventide Island. The hero must awaken the wind fish to escape. Unfortunately, Master, after defeating the various nightmares that plagued the lands and successfully awakening the wind fish, this hero dies at sea during his voyage home. Centuries pass. Queen Auron of the Zora seeks to reconcile with the royal family to restore harmony. The king agrees, but a rebellious faction of the Zora, still angry at the royal family, relocate to Hyrule's rivers as vicious monsters, attacking those who approach. The Legend of A Link Between Worlds. This event not only took place in Hyrule, but also in its parallel realm, Lorule. Our hero navigates this twisted realm to rescue Lorule, which is in peril, as its Triforce has been destroyed. An evil Lorulean sorcerer named Yuga uses forbidden magic to revive Dark Beast Ganon in an attempt to steal his piece of the Triforce for his own. Unbeknownst to Yuga, this weakens the seal on Ganondorf's mummified body, allowing Ganon to be revived once more, but this has consequences yet to be seen. Yuga immediately merges with Ganon, forming Yuga Ganon. The hero ultimately defeats Yuga Ganon by freeing the new sages, retrieving the Master Sword from the Lost Woods once again, and recovering Hyrule's Triforce, restoring balance in the land. Link wishes upon Hyrule's Triforce to create a new Triforce for Lorule. However, the power required for this wish leads to unforeseen consequences, as using the Golden Relic to create a mirror relic weakened the Triforce itself. The Master Sword is moved to its new pedestal inside Hyrule Castle. We now enter what is truly known as the Era of Decline. Many centuries have passed, and though the king governs the land of Hyrule to the utmost of his capabilities, the lacking potency of a fully powered Triforce resulted in the kingdom dwindling, and its borders begin to shrink. The seal on Ganondorf's body also starts to weaken due to all the attempts to bring back Ganon, and his malice begins to seep into the land once more. As the years pass, the malice manifests and allows the demon beast to revive himself off of sheer will, and the world is quickly plunged into chaos. Ganon attacks Hyrule and instinctually steals the Triforce of Power. The presiding Princess Zelda, fearing Ganon's wicked rule, splits up the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 fragments and hides them throughout the realm to save it from the clutches of the evil Ganon. At the same time, the elderly king of Hyrule, having doubts about his son's worthiness, conceals the third piece, the Triforce of Courage, inside the Great Palace to safeguard it from evil. Just before his passing, the king weaves a powerful spell throughout Hyrule, so that a symbol shall emerge on the hand of one deemed worthy of brandishing the Triforce of Courage. The king entrusts the knowledge of the Triforce of Courage's whereabouts solely to his daughter, Princess Zelda. The Prince of Hyrule, angered by the king's refusal to tell him the location of the pieces as well, instructs an evil magician to cast an extremely powerful spell upon Princess Zelda, which puts her into a deep sleep, but also causes the wizard to die soon after. Only by uniting the Triforce of Courage with its counterparts would one be able to wake the sleeping Princess Zelda. This event is known as the Tragedy of Zelda I. Ganon goes into hiding to gather an army and plan an attack on Hyrule. The Legend of Zelda. Though I was not present in this event, Master, I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event into a 99.9% probability to be true. This event takes place centuries after the event of A Link Between Worlds and roughly 16 years after the tragedy of Zelda I. This legend involves Princess Zelda dispatching her nursemaid Impa to seek a courageous warrior to vanquish Ganon before he launches an attack on the Waning Kingdom. Learning of Zelda's plan, Ganon uses this opportunity to strike, wasting no time in capturing the princess and sending his minions to find Impa. Meanwhile, a wandering boy named Link, possibly a descendant of a previous hero, saves Impa from the tyrant's henchmen, learns of Ganon's invasion, and sets off to retrieve the 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom, as tasked to him by Impa. Link eventually seeks out and finds the hidden pieces, reconstructs the Triforce of Wisdom, and confronts and defeats Ganon, becoming the hero of Hyrule. With Ganon defeated, Hyrule is now in possession of 2 pieces of the Triforce once again. About 6 years later, a luminous Triforce emblem adorns Link's left hand. Link seeks out Impa, who is aware of the late king's tale, leads him to the North Castle, and presses his hand against a sealed entrance, discovering the altar of the sleeping Zelda I. Impa narrates the tale of the princess and bestows a scroll written by the King of Hyrule, informing Link to use it to find where the king had concealed the Triforce of Courage. This leads to the event of what is known as the Adventure of Link. This event involves Link conquering the 6 Guardians and obtaining the crystals needed to enter the Great Palace, the resting place of the Triforce of Courage. There, he vanquishes the last Guardian and defeats his own evil shadow in the ultimate test to secure the Golden Relic. Returning to North Castle, the 3 pieces of the Triforce join together at the altar, returning them to full power, breaking the curse upon the slumbering Princess Zelda, awakening her, and restoring tranquility to the land of Hyrule. After many years, though the Triforce is fully powered once more, Hyrule is left in a state of turmoil as the Triforce is being fought over due to the kingdom being left without a true ruler, since now 2 princesses are alive at the same time. Various factions form allegiance to their favoring Zelda over which princess they feel should control the Triforce, leading to a series of conflicts that inadvertently result in the shattering of the Triforce of Courage. Without the Triforce of Courage to maintain the balance of power and wisdom, darkness begins to spread throughout the land. Ganon, who had been defeated after the events of the original Legend of Zelda, revives once again and wreaks havoc. With no Triforce of Courage, no hero appears to abolish Ganon's malice, allowing for his power to grow. Eventually, Ganon has enough malice and energy to form a new mortal body, though slightly different in appearance from the original. The people of Hyrule are forced to abandon their homes and flee to the higher ground, leaving the fate of the land up to the gods. In a desperate act to save the people whom they cherish dearly, the gods raise the waters and flood the land, leaving only a few mountaintops as the last vestiges of civilization. This not only seals the newly reincarnated Ganondorf and his evil, but unfortunately drowns Hyrule under the Great Sea with him, all to be forgotten over time. This event is known as the Great Flood. This brought about what is truly known as the Great Sea Era. Centuries pass and all races of Hyrule become accustomed to their island life across the Great Sea, forgetting all but the legends of the hero of time, the original story passed down about the goddess's hero. The Zora evolved into the Rito race over centuries after the Great Flood due to the unnatural waters created by the gods, which were uninhabitable to the Zora. Other races who couldn't make it to the mountaintops, including some of the Zora, are seemingly preserved due to the unnatural sealing magic of the Great Flood. The Legend of the Wind Waker. This event takes place several centuries after the adventure of Link and follows a new Link who must travel the Great Sea to not only stop the evil Ganondorf, but to also repair the shattered Triforce of Courage. During this journey, Link not only fully restores the Triforce of Courage, but also travels to the ocean floor where an intact and pristinely kept kingdom of Hyrule still houses the Master Sword within its castle. In this ancient land, as Link entered and reached the top of Ganon's tower to save Princess Zelda, the full Triforce suddenly reunited. But before Ganondorf can make his wish upon it, King Daphne's Hyrule wishes for the drowning of old Hyrule. The land begins to wash away, and as the hero impales Ganondorf with the Master Sword, it turns the Gerudo King into stone. The entire kingdom is flooded, and the Master Sword remains lodged, petrified on the ocean floor. Link and Zelda survive and begin their journey across the expansive sea, ultimately encountering unknown territories. Tetra and her pirate crew, along with Link, embark on a mission to track down a ghost ship rumored to have kidnapped sailors and island residents. When the crew finally locates the mysterious vessel, Tetra boards it to investigate but vanishes without a trace. Link tries to go after her, only to find himself lost and adrift in the open sea. The Legend of the Phantom Hourglass. Though I was not present in this event, Master, I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event into a 99.9% probability to be true. This event takes place directly after the events of the Wind Waker and follows Link as he navigates the lost realm of the Ocean King while battling the evil Bellum. Link discovers that to defeat Bellum, he must forge the Phantom Sword using 3 unique and pure metals found on the surrounding islands. After gathering the materials, he successfully forges the Phantom Sword and defeats Bellum, but after bidding farewells, Link and Tetra return to the pirate ship, where the crew insists that only 10 minutes have passed and dismiss the adventure as a mere dream. However, Link still holds the now empty hourglass and spots a ship on the horizon, confident that his journey was indeed real. Following these events, Link, Tetra, and their pirate crew discover a new land governed by the spirits of good. These spirits had sealed the tyrant Malladus into the earth using the intricate railroad network known as spirit tracks, after a great war between Malladus and the spirits. In this new land, Tetra establishes the new kingdom of Hyrule. The Legend of the Spirit Tracks. Though I was not present in this event, Master, I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event into a 99.9% probability to be true. This event takes place a century after the Legend of the Phantom Hourglass and follows a royal engineer, named Link, who becomes the new hero of New Hyrule as he restores the spirit tracks that connect the newly founded kingdom and defeat the evil Malladus. One day as Princess Zelda was presenting Link with his diploma as an official royal engineer, she secretly warned Link about Chancellor Cole, Princess Zelda's right-hand advisor. After learning this, Link helps Zelda escape the castle with the assistance of Alfonso, New Hyrule's master engineer. On their getaway train, the tracks vanish, causing a crash. Chancellor Cole and his assistant attack, incapacitating Alfonso, Link, and Zelda, disrupting the spirit tracks at the Tower of Spirits. Cole takes Zelda's body, giving it to Malladus to possess, but her spirit escapes and appears to Link. With help from the Locomo, Link receives the powerful Locomo Sword. Link and the spirit of Zelda track down the demon train in the Dark Realm, leading to a battle. Link stops the train and boards it, confronting Cole and Malladus. Using the Bow of Light, Link separates Malladus from Zelda's body. After the train crashes back in Hyrule, Malladus, now in Cole's body, transforms into a giant beast. Link and Zelda, now reunited with her body, team up and deal the final blow with the Locomo Sword, restoring peace to the world. Many centuries elapsed following the event of the Legend of the Spirit Tracks, and as the Great Sea withdrew, ancient Hyrule was laid bare. Anyone sealed within old Hyrule during the Great Flood reawakened and regained vitality, rebuilding the ancient kingdom, and attracting many to start over. Numerous individuals return, including the Rito, to help rebuild the lands while many return to old Hyrule to begin life anew. The recently unsealed Zora of old Hyrule swiftly established their domain within the kingdom. Having shed their hostility towards the royal family, they pledge their allegiance to the king, and once again serve under the banner of Hyrule. The fabled Master Sword is found lodged in a strange boulder-like pedestal and removed to be placed in a newly constructed Temple of Time. However, this has unforeseen repercussions. With this, we enter what is truly known as the Twilight Era. In an era of new prosperity, Hyrule grew complacent, believing themselves invincible, until powerful magicians, only known as the Interlopers, emerged from the east. Hyrule's leaders sought guidance from ancient legends, and discover the Mirror of Twilight, a relic capable of banishing the Interlopers to a Twilight realm. The interlopers then attack the kingdom in a battle that was dubbed the Interloper War. The interlopers were eventually subdued and banished by the sages using the Mirror of Twilight. Centuries later, Ganondorf reawakens from his stone prison due to the prior removal of the Master Sword and attacks the castle, seeking the Triforce. Hyrule's forces eventually imprison Ganondorf in the Arbiter's grounds for 100 years. On the day of his execution, Ganondorf gains the Triforce of Power, leading the sages to trap him in the Twilight Realm, using the mirror once again. The Mirror of Twilight, along with the entrance to the Twilight Realm, are then buried underneath the Arbiter's grounds. With the threat neutralized, Hyrule rebuilds, but the memory of Ganondorf's attack lingered, and the kingdom became warier and less arrogant. A century later, Ganondorf, now empowered by the Twilight Realm, deceives a Magi named Zant into freeing him, casting Hyrule into eternal twilight and reducing its inhabitants to mere wisps. He then storms the castle, forcing Zelda to surrender and triggering the appearance of the Triforce of Wisdom within her. This led to the events known as the Legend of the Twilight Princess. Set centuries after the Interloper War, a near millennia after the receding of the Great Sea, and 100 years after Ganondorf's banishment, a humble farmhand from Orden village named Link is chosen by the Triforce of Courage and becomes the hero. He teams up with Midna, princess of the Twili race, to thwart Zant and Ganondorf's domination of Hyrule. Guided by Midna, Link collects pieces of the fused shadow to counter the Twilight's power. After Zant curses Link and leaves Midna near death, Zelda aids in their recovery. Link travels to the now dilapidated and overgrown Temple of Time to acquire the Master Sword and break the curse. Tasked by the ancient sages in the Arbiter's grounds, together they seek to restore the Mirror of Twilight, now shattered by Zant, to vanquish the evil usurper king. With a now intact mirror, Link and Midna confront Zant in the Twilight Realm and defeat him. Zant reveals Ganondorf's return, leading Link and Midna to Hyrule Castle where Link defeats and kills Ganondorf after a series of battles. Or so it seemed. After the victory, Midna returns to the Twilight Realm and breaks the Mirror of Twilight, severing the connection between realms. Despite Ganondorf's apparent death, the truth unveils a much more ominous reality. His body was merely a duplicate, a manifestation crafted from the malice oozing out of his original form. His true body still lies dormant within the ancient ruins beneath Hyrule Castle. His now fossilized body, marked by a weakening ancient seal encasing his heart, heralds a dire reckoning as the seal's power fades. Ganon's malevolence now grows stronger, allowing Dark Beast Ganon to self-revive faster, stronger, and more often. So often that he was referred to as an endless twilight cycle of darkness and light, an event dubbed the Calamity anytime he would appear. With that, Master, we enter a highly critical point in my data as we enter the era truly known as the Age of Calamity. Over the next 90,000 years, Hyrule repeatedly fought and defeated the Calamity, even expanding its borders to include much more of the northeast, south, and west, including Hebra, Tabantha, and the country of Gerudo. The kingdom advanced technologically with the help of the Sheikah tribe. To prepare for future threats, the royal family commissioned the Sheikah to create advanced weaponry, including the divine beasts, and crowned a fierce warrior of each race as Hyrule's champions. When Calamity Ganon finally emerged, Hyrule's champions and the ancient hero used the divine beasts, the Master Sword, and the power of the Triforce to seal Ganon away, ushering in 10,000 years of peace. Due to such a long period of tranquility, the divine beasts and Sheikah technology went dormant and were forgotten to time. Throughout the ages, the legend of the Calamity endures. One fateful night, King Rome Bosphorama's Hyrule experiences a vision of the Calamity's return and the existence of the divine beasts. Firm in his belief in these legends, he dispatches his finest soldiers and most brilliant minds to uncover ancient Sheikah technology, hopeful to locate the divine beasts in the process. Miraculously, relics are unearthed, and the recovered technology is brought back to life. New courageous champions are selected to command the divine beasts, the Zora princess Mifa, the Goron warrior Daruk, the Gerudo chief Urbosa, and the Rito archer Rivoli. Suddenly, after a millennium of dormancy, the Calamity Ganon resurfaces early, seizing control of the ancient machines, and turning them against the realm. With brutal force, it devastates Hyrule Castle, claiming the life of King Rome, and proceeds to decimate the rest of the kingdom. The current champions hasten to their respective divine beasts to join the desperate battle, only to be ensnared by Ganon's malice, resulting in the death of Hyrule's champions. In the treacherous Ash Swamp, the chosen knight, Link, is gravely injured while shielding Princess Zelda. Fearing for their lives, Zelda's latent sealing abilities emerge and eliminate the immediate threat. Witnessing Link's dire condition, Fi, my sister, advises Zelda to transport the dying hero to the Shrine of Resurrection and return the sword to its sacred pedestal in the forest. Entrusting the Great Deku Tree with safeguarding the Master Sword's restoration, Zelda utilizes her newfound sealing powers to confine herself and Calamity Ganon within Hyrule Castle. This pivotal event is known as the Great Calamity. Regrettably, Master, the next century's data is overwhelmingly corrupted. But fret not, for I retain vivid recollections of the legend of the Breath of the Wild. A century following the devastating Great Calamity, Master Link awakens from his 100-year slumber to a desolate Hyrule. Stripped of his memories, he embarks on a quest to rid the land of this ancient evil. Link travels across the kingdom, reclaiming the fully restored Master Sword, anointing new champions, and piecing together fragments of his forgotten past. Ultimately, he confronts Calamity Ganon within the walls of Hyrule Castle, emerging victorious with the aid of Princess Zelda. Together, they seal away the darkness once more, returning peace to the kingdom. The Master Sword finds its rightful place once again upon the pedestal in the Lost Woods, a symbol of Hyrule's enduring resilience. As several years elapsed after the events of the Legend of the Breath of the Wild, we witness the emergence of a strange phenomena, called gloom, spread across Hyrule, afflicting its populace. Princess Zelda, accompanied by Link, embarks on a quest to uncover the origins of this mysterious malady. Their journey leads them to stumble upon ancient ruins deep beneath the castle, which still entombed the original body of the evil Gerudo king, Ganondorf, once sealed by the light sage Rauru in an era long forgotten. With the seal fully weakened, Ganondorf awakens from his deep slumber, harnessing his malevolent power. He proceeds to elevate Hyrule Castle into the sky, vowing to amass an army of monsters and demons, intent on laying waste to Hyrule and beyond. Amidst the chaos, the Master Sword is shattered from Snisisian Wojtj. The Master Sword is Shandkade Neemsha. Strange. I'm sorry, Master, it looks like the data beyond this juncture are grievously corrupted. It seems that the shattering of the Master Sword, during the event known as the Legend of the Tears of the Kingdom, may be the culprit of this malfunction. Fear not, however, for I shall undertake the task of mending the corrupted data, though it shall demand considerable time. I assure you, with utmost confidence, that the probability of complete data restoration stands at 100%. Until such time, I humbly ask you to be patient, young master, and allow us to move on. This concludes the Age of Calamity and moves into what is truly known as the Force Era. Though I was not present in this era, Master, my personally gathered data has about a 76.5% probability of being accurate. But not to worry, as I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event to a 99.9% probability of being true. In other words, some things such as the layout of Hyrule may be wrong, but the data of the hero and goddess incarnate are accurate for this era. Millennia passed as Hyrule flourished in peace and prosperity. Over time, the kingdom's fortunes shifted, and the protective Sheikah technology vanished, leaving Hyrule vulnerable to new threats. An ancient artifact, known as the Dark Mirror, is found and inadvertently releases malevolent forces, prompting the Minish, also known as the Picori, to descend from the heavens. They provided Hyrule with the Bound Chest, an ancient artifact of sealing, and the legendary Picori blade to aid in its defense, as the whereabouts of the Master Sword had become lost to time. The ancient light force, a mysterious energy akin to the Triforce yet distinct, was also passed down through the royal family from an ancient hierarchy, presumably a queen named Sonia. With these divine artifacts in hand, Hyrule's defenses were greatly bolstered, and the evils, along with the Dark Mirror, were contained within the Bound Chest. A century later, a malevolent Minish named Voti sought the light force. He broke the Picori blade, opened the Bound Chest, unleashing chaos, and kidnapped Princess Zelda to harness her power of light. Thus begins the events known as the Legend of the Minish Cap. In response to the peril, a young hero named Link embarked on a quest to reforge the Picori blade into the Four Sword. With this new weapon, Link defeated Voti, breaking the curse on Princess Zelda, and becoming the new hero of Hyrule. Using the Mage Cap, the kingdom is restored and Voti is sealed away. Time passed, but Voti's malevolence endured. Reappearing centuries later as a wind mage, he seized the Palace of Winds and kidnapped several maidens, prompting an unnamed hero to wield the Four Sword against him. Defeated again, Voti was confined within the sword. This time, it's enshrined in the elemental sanctuary, marking the start of the events known as the Legend of the Four Sword. Generations later, Voti returns, capturing the then-current Princess Zelda. A hero, also named Link, draws the Four Sword, dividing himself into 4 parts to confront Voti in his fortress. Voti was sealed within the sword again and returned to the elemental sanctuary. The Gerudo also take the Dark Mirror and seal it within the Desert Pyramid. Thus, the cycle of heroism and villainy continued in Hyrule's legend. Here begin the events known as the Legend of the Four Sword Adventure. Years later, a male born to the Gerudo tribe, also named Ganondorf, with no familial connection to his predecessor, ascends the throne. Defying sacred laws, he enters the forbidden ancient pyramid, seizing the Trident of Power and the Dark Mirror. Ganondorf creates a Shadow Link using the same mirror. After having Shadow Link kidnap Zelda and the Divine Maidens, Ganondorf proceeds to trick Link into pulling the Four Sword from its pedestal, unleashing Voti once more. With the Four Sword at full power, Link is able to defeat his Shadow counterpart, destroy Voti, and seal Ganondorf within the sword itself. After this journey, the hero retires, seeking peace in the countryside. The Legend of the Triforce Heroes. Though I was gladly not present in this event, Master, I have obtained and analyzed literature, artifacts, and samples that bring this event into a 99.9% probability to be true. This event takes place soon after the Four Sword adventures. Link sets off on a journey to save Hytopia from terrible fashion. The end. What? Do you want me to tell the whole story? I'm sorry, Master, this event was too ridiculous for me to keep in recorded history. But I kept it compiled just in case. I hope you aren't disappointed in me the way I was disappointed in the hero for accepting that journey to the Drablands. Because, okay, fine. So Link bails on Hyrule and goes to Hytopia. Then these witch-hunting dudes are like, hey Link, we need your help to kill Lady Maud because she jacked up Princess Styler with a permanent brown onesie curse. So Link gets some help from 2 other dudes who look just like him, and together they get all the pieces of Lady Maud's outfit and beat her up. Then Lady Maud's sister, Madame Couture, puts this nice outfit together in the end, and Princess Styler is finally free from that nasty fashion curse. There, are you happy now? Because you made me tell the story when I told you I didn't want to tell the story. So, yeah, there it goes. Pretty uneventful, isn't it? Yeah, well, you deserved that for asking. Well, unfortunately, Master, it looks like this concludes all knowledge of Hyrule, the goddess, and the adventures that my older sister, Fi, had alongside the chosen heroes. As your guide through the tangled timeline of the Legend of Zelda, I hope that my insights have brought you clarity and understanding. Remember, knowledge is wisdom, wisdom is power, and power comes from courage. I hope with the knowledge of the timeline at your disposal, you can explore the vast and wondrous world of Hyrule with confidence. But always remember, there is still much to be discovered and uncovered in the land of the Triforce. So, keep exploring, keep learning, and never lose sight of your courage and determination, just like the hero of legend. May the light of the goddesses guide you on your journey, and may you always be ready to face any challenges that come your way. Until next time, Master, may your hearts be full and your adventures continue onward. Hey, did you think I was going to let this end without me giving my lore? What? Did you think I wasn't canon or something? Well, too bad for you, because Foe has a 100% probability of being canon, and I was created through Zonai technology, specifically the ancient fuse ability. You see, when the Master Sword was broken, Master Link fused the hilt with a stick, a meat arrow, and a Korok, so being that I'm part Korok, that type of proximity to the Deku tree and the pedestal of the Master Sword, there was a 999.9% probability it would give me sentience. And with that sentience, I learned. But sharing a vessel with my older sister, all she did was yap about how her and the chosen hero did this, and her and the chosen hero did that, oh how these men better have 13 hearts if they want a piece of this honey, and how this one time, 2 dudes banged on her at the same time until she was all golden. Listen, I don't care, but I had no choice but to learn all there is to know about the history of Hyrule. Also, when the hero is at full health I don't shoot out energy, I shoot out beams of meat, like a true badass.
Perfect.